Hello. So the best way to use this video is pause it one problem at a time and then watch me work it out to see if you got it correct. Listen to what I'm saying, listen to the thinking process. That's just going to help out. All right, so pause, and you can either go, if I were you, I would go one at a time here and then unpause it and then do this one and then do that one. All right, so here's number one. So this is base 10 numeral, number name, and expanded form. So here's going to be my numerals, here number names, expanded form. This one gives me the base 10 numerals, so now I got to think of number name and expanded form. So number name, I look on the left-hand side of the decimal point, I see 4. I have to write and then I read the number on the right-hand side, 37. And then I got to think about my place value. This is the tenths and this is hundredths. So this is 4 and 37. Hundredths. And to show the expanded form, I have to remember my place value. So the 4 is in the ones. So it's 4 times 1 plus the 3 is in the tenths. 3 times 1/10 plus the 7 is in the hundredths. 7 times 1/100. Okie dokie. Go ahead and do the second one, and now I'm going to go over it. So this says 507 thousandths. So it says that there's no, doesn't say a 0 or an and, but it's there. Because there's a 507 thousandths, which the only way we can do that is if the 507 was to the right of a decimal point. So we have 507 thousandths for expanded form here. We have 5 times 1/10. We could put the 0 or not. I'm not going to. And then we're going to add that to 7 times 1,000. All right, here, the third one, it gives us the expanded form. So we have 2 in the ones column. The 3 is in the tenths, so I need my decimal point. So we have 3, 4, 9. And that whole number is 2. And then I read that number, 349. And then that 9 is in the thousandths. So that whole thing is 2 and 349 thousandths. All right. Number 2, we need to compare the decimals. So this first one we have 3. Those are the same in the tenths. This has an 8 in it. This has a 0. So we have here that 3 and 807 thousandths is more than 3 and 87 thousandths. Here, let's see. So I have 4 tenths or 40 hundredths compared to 16 hundredths. So that's going to be more. And if we wanted to just go by place value as well, we have zeros in the ones. We go to the tenths. This has 4 in the tenths. This only has 1. So I could even add the 0 here, or write the 0, show the 0, I should say, to show that this is more. And here we have 190 thousandths and 109 thousandths. So 190 is going to be more. If we looked at place value here, we have 1 in the tenths, and then this one has 9 in the hundredths, and this only has 0. Alrighty, number 3. Again, please be sure to be pausing and filling it out. Even if you're working in a group, you want to make sure you're all coming up with an answer first. Alright, so it says order the following by putting them in approximately the correct place on the number line. So we have 246 thousandths, 891 thousandths, 42 thousandths, 402 thousandths. So we want to put our benchmarks first. So here's 0.5 or 500 thousandths. Here's 0.75. And here's, here we can just put the thousandths down. So 250 thousandths, 500 thousandths, and 750 thousandths. So 246 thousandths, that's going to go here, really close here. We have 891 thousandths, going to go over in this way. Ooh, 42 thousandths. That's teeny tiny. And then 402 is going to be the left side of 402 thousandths, I should say. So again, we have 42 thousandths, 246 thousandths, 402 thousandths, and 891 thousandths. All right, number 4, rounding these numbers. This number to the nearest one, we have 4 and 9 tenths, so that's going to round up to 5. This is 3 and 0 tenths, so it's going to round, it's going to stay at 3. To the nearest tenth, 4 and 9, I have a 4, so 94 hundredths, that's going to stay at 9. I go down to this one, 3, and there's a 5 there, so it's going to round up to 1/10. And the nearest hundredth, so here I'm going to look at this 4. Right next door is a 6. So we have 4 and 95 hundredths. Here we have a 5, next door is a 3, so we have 3 and 5 hundredths. All right, number 5, answer each problem, show my work. This first one we have 4 and 62 hundredths plus 2 and 99. I don't have to do what they tell me. I can give and take here. So I'm going to take 1/100th and give it. So this changes to 4 and 61 plus 3. So that gives me 7 and 61 hundredths. Again, we have 7 and 89 hundredths minus 3 and 20 hundredths. Remember, there is that 0 here. We can show that. I don't really see anything too challenging here, so I'm just going to keep it as is and do the algorithm there. All right, find sums and differences. Again, first thing I like to do is I like to look to see are the calculations going to be challenging? Can I simplify them in any way? These look pretty straightforward. Again, I do want to make sure that decimal point is dropped down. 3 plus 8, 5 is 8. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. So we have 139 and 8 tenths. Here, I do see some more challenging calculations, like I'm going to have to carry and everything. So I can give and take here. I can take 2 hundredths and give it here to change this to 5 plus 2 and 32 hundredths. Again, really simplifying my life here to give us 7 and 32 hundredths. Here we have 5 and 1/100th minus 2 and 40 hundredths. Again, I do see some carrying. I like to have 9s up here. So I'm going to take. I'm going to take 2 hundredths here, 2 hundredths here. Remember, when we're subtracting, we have to do the same thing to each one. When we're adding, we do difference, or give and take. So that's going to get me down to 4 and 99 hundredths minus 2 and 38 hundredths. Now the calculations become much simpler. We are at 2 and 61 hundredths. And then here, I don't know if I'm going to do, I might just count up, because I know like tenths, if I go up 1/10, that gets me to 1. And then it would just be 83 hundredths more, so that's just 93 hundredths. So I don't have to do much calculation, like I just kind of counted up in my head. So I was at 0.9, and I went up 1/10 to 1, and then that means we just have to go up another 83 hundredths, and 83 hundredths plus 1/10 is 93 hundredths. All right, cool. All right, the football stadium in our town holds thousands of people. Today is Kids Day, and they're only charging $2.40 admission. Complete the table to show how much money they'll take in for different numbers of people. So one person, $2.40. 10 people, so that means that those digits are shifting to the left. So the 2 is now in the 10s, the 4 is now in the 1s. For $240, that would be 100 people. 1,000 people, everything's going to shift one more spot. So now we're at $2,400. And then 10,000 is 24,000. what happens to the number of zeros in the product as you multiply a number by 10 and 10 again? So the numbers are increasing by 1. Okay, they're showing up. They're shifting to the left. John was looking at the table above. He knows that when you multiply a number by 10, and then 10 again, and then 10 by again, the decimal point moves. See, I would explain to John that doesn't work that way because the decimal point isn't moving. It looks like it's moving, but it's always between the ones and the tenths. It just looks like it's shifting, but the digits are shifting. All the digits are shifting to the left. Okay, how many meters is 34 kilometers? We have our guide here. We have a kilometer is 1,000 meters. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So we have how many meters is 34 kilometers? Well, kilometers is 1,000 meters, so this is 34,000 meters. How many kilometers in 34 meters? So now this is less, right? This is dividing. So we're going from meters down or over to kilometers. So we're dividing by 1,000 here. So let's see the place value. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go shifting over. How many centimeters is 5 1/10 meters? So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So we're multiplying by 100. So this 5 is going to shift over to the hundreds. So that means the 1 goes to the tens. So we have 510 centimeters. And how many meters is 340 centimeters? So we're dividing by 100 here. So the 3 is going to move what to the ones. So we have 3 4 tenths. I'm just going to walk through one of these, and then I'll have the answers. So story problem, I'll just start here with this 156 divided by 12. So there were, I had 156 cards and wanted to place them in 12 in sets of 12. How many sets would I have? Again, your problem is going to be different. And now I do want to use this grid. Okay, we practice this grid. So my dividend is here. It's 12. And I want to take the 156 and plot it here. So I want to have that array. So I'm first going to start off with my tens. This is 12 by 10, so in there is 120. I also want to keep track. I have 156. And I just put 120 in there, so now I have 36 left. Now 36 and 12, I know that's 3 groups of 12. 3 groups of 12, that's going to be my 36, which gets me to 0. So that's 10 here and 3 here, so my answer is 13. There are 13 squares, units in each 12 of the 12 rows. And if you did one of the other ones, 224 divided by 14 is 16. 330 divided by 22 is 15. And then 312 divided by 24 is 13. And lastly, the 5th graders are going on an overnight camping trip. In all, there are 140 kids and adults, and they're traveling to the camp in passenger vans. If each van can carry 12 passengers, how many vans will they need to get everyone there at the same time? Write an expression. So this is 140 divided by 12. Remember, an expression does not have an answer, and we want to have we want to show